This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me, busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail.
Hey everybody, welcome. I love doing these shows. And oh my God, Tom Douglas, yes, right from our own backyard, chef, restaurant owner, 3-time James Beard Award recipient, featured on the Food Network, PBS, CBS, and other networks. And as Grandmama Belela used to say to me, yeah, you should be a cook. You should be a cook. You should do the cooking. I don't want to work that hard. Tom, it's great to have you here.
Nice to be here, Dr. Pat.
Oh, I love this time of year. Let's talk about this for some fabulous breakout, out-of-the-box, inspired ideas from one of the best. Many people don't even take this on, Tom, right? Because they think it's way too complicated. All right, let's start. Where do we start?
Let's start with a plan. We're going to make a little food and beverage plan for our holiday party. So with that plan, I'm going to pick out the wines, I'm going to taste them, and then I'm going to start to dream about what goes best with them. The first one I pulled out was the Domaine Saint Michel Brut. It is a sparkler from the Yakima Valley area, delicious wine. I made some cranberry syrup from our local cranberries, some cranberry bitters, and so we have a little sparkling wine cocktail for the moment people walk through the front door. I also made a little goat cheese fondue to team up with that, put that around the room. You know, people have been working all day before they come to your party, and they need some sustenance right away, so I like to have this ready because I use bread cubes and apple slices to dip into my goat cheese fondue.
Oh my gosh, I love goat cheese. I love it.
Me too.
I know.
Especially this fresh version. This isn't the type that has a rind on it. This is fresh goat cheese. So my next wine, I have the Eroica Riesling, a very famous wine from Chateau Saint Michel. It's citrusy, it's a little bit sweet, it's refreshing acidity, it's versatile. So I made a little potato, cheese, and leek empanada. So I like these for a couple of reasons. One is they're delicious, right? The other is you can make them weeks in advance. You just make them, put them together, don't cook them off, and pop them in the freezer. And then about an hour before your guests show up, you can just pull them out, bake them, and you have a fresh empanada. Feels like you've been working on all day. And it goes beautifully with the Eroica. So I love that. And then the last appetizer I made, because we do have some meat eaters coming, we have the Chateau Saint Michel Cabernet Sauvignon Indian Wells. And in the marketplace, you can find these things called Wagyu steaks. They're the grade above prime even. And they make a delicious appetizer because they're really tender and easy to eat. So I sear them off, cut them into small bites, and I put them right on top of a caramelized fennel tart. So you know what an upside down cake is, right? Like a pineapple upside down cake. So it's the same thing with these tarts. I use a little muffin tin, put caramel in the bottom, some fresh sliced fennel, and then a little gluten-free dough on top. You bake them and turn them out upside down, and they come out as these little mahogany numbers that are so awesome. And you can serve them like that, right, to the vegetarians, but I'm a meat eater, and I'm a red wine drinker, so I'm putting my little sliced sirloin on top with some smoked salt, which goes super good with the berry fruit flavors of the Cabernet and the richness of the Cabernet. So they match up very well. All of these wines, just beautiful products from here in the Northwest.
Yeah, as my grandmother would love you right now. She would come over there and pinch your cheeks because you actually use fenugreek, as we call it, the fennel. Oh boy, I love it. Here we are, the holidays. The things you just mentioned, really, to get out of the gate and start this. Many people would think about, I can't even take it on. But you shared for us some very exquisite, yet not hard to make things. And I think that's the 1-2 punch, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Things that you can do in advance so that you can be part of the party. Nobody wants to do all that work and then be stuck in the kitchen while all their friends are out front having a good time, right? You want to be part of the party. So that's part of the planning process in order to do that. It's up to you.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned a bunch of wines. Before we get too far crazy into this, because I can do that, what is the best place for people to find out more about these, more about the wines as well?
Well, if you want the recipes for the appetizers, you go to tomdouglas.com, and I'll have all the recipes that we talked about today listed. And then if you want the wine itself, go to stmichelle.com. And you'll find out about all these wines. You'll find out about wine country, see some beautiful pictures of the valleys over there. And really, it's a fun place to get started to figure out where you want to visit next time you're in Eastern Washington.
Yeah, I just want to say Chateau Ste. Michelle, for those of you out there, it is a must stop. Just absolutely must stop. Doesn't matter what time of year. Just please go there, find out about that. Look, your journey is one that my grandma would have wanted me to have. Okay, she'd have wanted me to go. She would say, yeah, become Tom. I love to cook, and so that's why I'm excited about this. But I also love to entertain. Have you found on your top 3 what you must consider to have a successful holiday party?
Well, we talked about a couple of them. One is the plan, right? You really do want to take the time to have a plan. The other is, second one would be, do as much as you can in advance. All of these appetizers that I've talked about are advanced preparation appetizers. And I would say the third thing is, at the end of the day, people come to your house because they want to feel you and they want to feel you're welcome, right? They want to know about you and be welcomed by you. Make yourself available, right? The other thing I would say, if it's a family party, if you have kids, let them help with the preparation, right? This is a gift that you can give to them for the rest of their lives. So that's what I say. Share the joy of cooking and let them be part of the process so that 40 years from now, when we're all gone, they're still putting on things out of our recipe box.
Yeah, Chef Tom, I got to say something about that for a minute, because you are one of the people out in front that is really encouraging getting the family together, getting people together, teaching people to cook, and especially children. And I've watched it with this beautiful 11-year-old that I've known even before her birth. I got her a great apron, chef apron. But this is so important. My grandma used to say, cooking brings the family together. Isn't that what you and what your message also stands for?
It is. And I oddly enough, I like to shame people too as a parent, right? I love to shame parents. I always say, if your kid leaves the house at 18 years old and doesn't know how to roast a chicken, you have failed miserably. That's what, so there are, you have responsibilities as a parent too. How do you balance a checkbook? How do you roast a chicken? How do you scramble an egg? There's lots of things that I think are important for our kids, and they'll remember it forever.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I am so glad you said that. My grandma was a little bit more strict. She would say, if you don't know by like 13 years old how to make your own homemade pasta, there's something wrong with you. But that's grandma.
Yeah. Exactly.
I want to ask you about something really important to the Pacific Northwest, but now pretty much important worldwide, gluten. I go back, 4, 5, 6 years ago, you say the word gluten, everybody thought it was glutton. Tell us about gluten, and I know that these recipes, people can change up and make gluten-free options, right?
Yeah, absolutely. 10 years ago, it was hard to find a decent gluten anything or gluten-free anything, right? So now there's beautiful flours. All of these doughs that we use today can be made gluten-free. In our restaurants, we have gluten-free everything because so many people are on that diet now. So it's just something to be aware of. And I think when you're throwing a party like we are with the beautiful Ste. Michelle wines, you put the effort into the appetizers, you really should be trying to think of a palette of foods and wines that are going to cover all bases. We have Riesling, which is a little bit sweet. We have a dry red wine. We have sparkling. So that's really the key, is to be all things to all people when you're throwing a party, so you're not scrambling.
Yeah, I had a question come in from one of my friends. They knew I was interviewing you today. And they said, do the wines change for gluten-free recipes? And I thought, do I dare ask that question? I mean, it sounds like they would not. But it's an interesting question from a bunch of my friends. We all get together, like 40 of us this time of year.
Right.
But it is an interesting question. I never thought about it.
Yeah, no, they don't change a bit. And I would just say, just being aware of everyone's issues is really a great hospitality trick. Dr. Pat, I have to run.
Yes.
I have
My kid
Yes.
coming for a dinner.
Well, I want to thank you so much. Last question, personal message. What do you want to leave us with?
I would say, happy holidays. You know, enjoy the journey. Don't look at it as a hassle cooking for people. Enjoy the journey of cooking for people. So happy holidays to everyone.
Yeah, Chef Tom Douglas, everyone. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.